Hello again, this is Simone from Loom. In this tutorial I will show you how to make this Dobby. The Dobby with the socks and the shirt and the hats. If you want to make this Dobby, I've already made another movie to show you how to make these arms and legs. The shirt is kind of identical, only without sleeves. So if you want to make this Dobby, just go ahead and look at the other tutorial to see how you make these arms and legs, because they're slightly different. And just forward here to about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. I'll put a note in the video to tell you where to start with his body. We're gonna start, if you want to make the clothed Dobby, we're gonna start by making his arms. Basically what you need is skin colored ones. I'll specify how many in the description, because I don't know actually. And if you do his clothes, you just need a lot of different colors. And I'm gonna make it up as I go. I already made one arm and one sock, and I made it these colors. Yeah, I'm gonna make another arm, and I'm actually gonna use dark green. I think I'm just gonna give him two different color sleeves, and I don't know which color I'm gonna make his body. I'll make it up as I go, as I said. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come down 5 times. Yeah, we're gonna go and use 2 green bands, or whatever color you're using for one of your sleeves. You can also do stripes, so take 2 different colors or whatever. Anyway, 2 bands, and I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna come down 5 times. I like making Dobby with clothes because I like the way he's described in the books. And he's wearing all oversized, different color clothes that don't match. So that's what I try to do, and it's what I'm going to try and do now, and that's why I'm going to make it up as I go and just use a lot of different colors. Anyway, down 5 times. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take 2 bands and make 2 loops with them, just like this on the hook. Take another 2 bands, place them on my hook, and I'm going to slide these 4 loops over it, and I'm going to place this. It's going to kind of become a sleeve, the top of his sleeve, like around your wrist. So, anyway, like that. Then I'm going to use 1 skin colored band. I'm using a dark skin colored. I really like this skin color better than the pale one, even though he's quite pale, but yeah, the dark one really turned out better, so I'm going to use the dark one. And I'm going to double loop that band for his kind of his hand, his wrist. I'm going to cap off with 2 bands, 2 skin colored bands, and I'm going to make 2 loops with each. And use that as a capping band. So you got 4 loops with 2 bands in total, so 2 times 2 loops. Anyway, it's time to loop up now, and then you have your full arm. There we go, all the way to the top. I'm going to place his arm on a holding hook. You can use anything, a toothpick or an extra hook or a pencil or whatever. Anyway, to finish it off, these 4 loops around it's kind of his wrist, something. 2 of those 4 loops I'm going to grab and pull to the other side. I'm going to make sure that both sides are like of equal length. To give him a little bit more body around his wrists, like that. I've got my 2 arms. Now I'm gonna make the legs. And for his legs, I'm gonna grab my skin color bands first, and those are gonna be double looped, just like this. And I'm gonna use the middle row, the center row, and I'm coming down 5 times in total. So it's 2, 3. Push them down a little. 4, specify. I'm going to start with the top of his sock. And I think just like this one I'm actually going to do stripes. Let's see which colors. I guess I'm going to use red. I don't know, what have I already used? Or orange. I think I'll make him red and a very bright orange. That would be nice. So for the top of my foot's going to be red. So I'm going to grab one red band, double loop it. The second one for me is going to be orange, but you can do whatever you want. If you want these spots, just at the point where we start using 2 bands, use 1 band of each color. Yeah, if you want to do stripes, you do exactly what I do now, but maybe with different colors. You can just do the whole thing in 1 color. Well, you can make it like 20 different colors. You can do whatever I want, whatever hell you want. Anyway, the second one down is again 1 band, double looped. Now I'm gonna go at my ankle spot, and I'm gonna take 2 bands and double loop them. So what you should have is 5 double loop singles in your skin color, a double looped, and 2 double looped ones in whatever kind your sock color or your sock pattern is gonna be. Let me take a look. Yeah, I'm gonna take my other color as well, this orange. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take 2 bands and I'm gonna go diagonally, and I'm gonna go in this color. So like that. Then did I switch colors already? Yeah, I switch colors again. What I'm gonna do next is I'm coming down with 2 colors, and again, if you want the spots, you could use like an orange and a red at the same time instead of 2 red, and it would create like these kind of spots. And after that, yeah, I'm gonna use red again, and I'll just come to the center. So I got this right now. These are all 2 bands, and again, you can choose the pattern. And I'm going to make the top of his little foot, and on each row I'm coming down once with 2 bends. It's all 2 bends after his ankle, like this. And I'm going to now make the diagonals, again 2 bends. So this is the pattern you'll need. All we need to do now is use some holding bands, 3 of them, a triangle, and 2 vertical ones, or horizontal ones, depending on how you look at the thing, and of course a capping band. My capping band is just going to be capped around 4 times. I'm going to start with that, and I use orange because I used orange in the whole top. The holding band here is just going to be a single band double looped. I'm going to double loop all my holding bands to make it a bit tighter, because this foot is quite pointy. This one is double looped, and a red one here, and I'm going to make the top one orange, so right here. So my 3 holding bands and my capping band. If you have all that, we can start looping. I'm first going to do the 3 bands that come from the bottom, and then basically go color for color. So first do the rest of the orange for me, then start from here and do the red, and go to the point, and then up through the whole middle. And after you're done with it, you can place your foot on a holding pin, hook, toothpick, pencil, whatever you have to hold your bands. Anyway, I'm gonna go through the capping band and grab the top 2 of the bands that you need to loop. So that these for me, and they go to outside. Just loop them on top of themselves. I'm gonna loop this one first. And do the whole orange thing, top of his foot first. Alright. Okay, now I did all these orange. I'm gonna go from here and do those diagonals in the middle. Don't forget those. The first time I made them, I forgot those, and then the whole thing falls apart. Now I can go up on both sides to the middle. Like a bit of room here, so the bands won't snap. With this foot part, there should not be a problem. You've all got, none of the regular bands are double looped, only the holding bands, so probably you should be fine. But if you feel it's a bit tight, just make sure you make some extra room for the bands and you don't overstretch them because they snap and you would have to replace them. Okay, well, this is the tougher one. That's 2 bands double looped that we're gonna loop up now. That can be a bit tighter, but yeah, I think we'll be alright. Or not. I'm just gonna... Well, I forgot to hold down these bands. As you can see now, I'm making a mess of it. I can quite easily fix it. It's not the first time this happened to me. Come on. So I should hold those down. I'll leave these 2. There we go. Sorry about that. You could just fast forward if you succeeded all in once by looping that one up. But anyway, we're gonna continue up. I really like trying to design these figures, but I only have a short list of other figurines I figured would be nice to do. I'm only gonna do figures that are not yet out there. So if you have any suggestions, please leave a comment, or either on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, once you looped up, take it off. And I'm going to use my hook here as well, especially around the ankle band, because that one can be tight. But what I was saying about the figures, if you have any suggestions, and I'll try if to see if I can make them. I really like the designing part, to make figures look as accurate as they can. But I'm only gonna do figures that are not yet out there or do not have a good tutorial, because some of them really have a crappy tutorial on them, or only in languages that I don't speak. But yeah, if you want certain figurines, just let me know. Anyway, I got 2 feet, so you should go back and make another one. And I got my 2 arms. Now it's time to do his body. If you join us now because you made these arms and feet, his body really is identical, so it doesn't. I'll tell you when to add everything and how to. His body, I'm gonna start with his neck. His neck is gonna get 3 rubber bands on the top, right here. And first I'll place this little part to make sure it shows on both sides. I like that. So I'm gonna grab 2 bands of my skin color and place them right here. The rest of his body is gonna be in his shirt color. So if you want a bit of a rag, take a bit of a worn down color, a pale color, or I took a green and I think it looked really nice. But as I want a fully clothed dummy, I'm gonna take a bit of a bright color that match that matches a little bit with his arms, but I'm actually thinking about using the bright yellow one right here and do a one color body. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the diagonals first, and for this whole body I'll use 2 bands at a time. So I'll do the diagonals, and I'm gonna come down 5 times on each side. I'm just gonna do all yellows. Bright yellow to make him look all shiny. But again, here you could also do stripes, like the one color this part, second color, another color, or you can do spots like I did on this one. Basically, you can really make him look whatever you want, and design him as you go along. That's why I also can't specify how many bands you need of a color. In total you need about 150 to 200 bands to make all his clothes, but they can be 20 different colors, they can be 2 different colors. It makes quite a bit of a difference. Anyway, after the sides I'm going to fill up the middle till this back. We're going to go upwards to the diagonals, upwards to the middle. So anyway, 2 bands each time. And as said, we're going to do the diagonals from the middle down, from the side up, depends on how you look at it. But this is what you should have. I'm going to place his arms and legs now, and then we're going to do some holding bands. First of all, his arms going to be attached to these 2 pegs, his shoulder pegs. Just like that. Make sure you got all the loops on the peg. What's important with his legs is that you make sure they point up to the same. They either both point up or point down. I'm going to make them point down because my hands are also pointing down a little, and that way his whole body is pointing to the same side, and I'm going to use this side as the front. But again, it doesn't really matter if these are pointing up. You can make them point up as well, because we're going to attach this later to the body, and we can still turn it before we attach it to the head, I meant. Anyway, his feet come on these 2 pegs, and so I'm going to make sure they point down a little. At least point to the side. Right now it's actually pointing up. So. Yeah, that's it. Turn, yeah. Like that. Alright, now it's time to do some holding bands. The bottom 2 are going to be singles. This one's going to be single and half looped, and this one's going to be double looped. So the top, just like here, is going to be a little bit tighter than the bottom. So first a regular single on the bottom 3, another regular single. Now we're going to do the half looped one. Half loop means I'm not going to double loop it on all the pegs, but just on 2 of the diagonals, on the middle one and 1 on the side. It doesn't matter on which side, but I'll just use that one. So this part is double looped, but it's not double looped in the whole thing. And the top one I'm going to double loop in the whole thing, so I'll just double loop it in my fingers. Like that. So the top is tightest. Anyway, we don't need a capping band here because we're going to loop up from the feet to that peg before you can do the middle. What we do have to do is make sure we loop the middle one here last. So this one underneath his neck we're gonna do after we loop these two, because that way your little neck here will show. So anyway, go ahead and start looping. I'm gonna start at one of his feet. Well, you have to kind of, and take the top two bands underneath there and gonna loop them onto itself, and take the two bands underneath that, gonna loop them up, and I'm just gonna continue with this side first before I start on the other side. So what you do is every time go underneath all the bands, grab the bottom two and loop them on top of themselves. And it's a bit tight. That's better. Alright, so that side is done. Now I'm going to do the other side. And here again, grab the top two ones first. For me, those are the ones that go to the middle. And then the bottom two. And again, I'm going to continue with the side. I have to do the top middle one last anyway, so I'm going to do the whole side first. And I'm gonna go inside his bottom, and I'll start looping up the whole middle row. And because I can only film about 30 minutes at the same time with my photo camera, because I don't have a video camera or an iPad or anything, I'm actually gonna pause the video after I've taken this off, and you should go and see part 2 where I do his head with his flappy little ears. Anyway, this is ready to take off, and I'm gonna place it on a holding hook just like that, and just take the whole thing off. And you made his little body with his sweatshirt and his socks. Actually, in the book he's also described to have like multiple layers of socks and different sweatshirts on top of each other, and that are way oversized and all that sort of description. So it really doesn't matter how you make him. You can make him a really like a very colorful thing, because none of the colors have to match, and really making whatever color you want. Wow, that's really yellow. But alright, here we go. We have Dobby body, just like that. But mine, I actually turn it upside down because, as I said, I had all my arms and legs pointing downwards when I made him, so I just turn him around and it's all good. And we got his neck right like we want. So we have a little tank top, and his bottom is a bit bigger than the top of his body, which is supposed to be. Anyway, go ahead and watch part 2 where I make his hats and his ears, and if it doesn't take too long I will do his hat as well, and if it takes quite long I'll do a third part to show you how to make his hats. Enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of the tutorial. Bye!